Barber from the Financial Times. So, Schengen membership, is it a symptom of a wider malaise? I'll keep my remarks brief so as to allow as much time as possible for discussion. I thought we could look at three general themes and explore those. First, there is the issue of EU integration and enlargement. Schengen is one of several long-term projects aimed at boosting EU integration that have collided in recent years with what to me appears to be a waning enthusiasm among European political elites and the general public for both EU integration and EU expansion. And by and large, this waning enthusiasm is concentrated in the older member states. And as far as Schengen is concerned, it expresses itself, for example, in French and German reluctance to approve the incorporation of Bulgaria and Romania into the agreement. The fear in Paris and Berlin is that with Bulgaria and Greece, or in Greece already, and then a land bridge would be created for the flow of illegal migrants from Turkey into the heart of the Schengen area. And it's in this way that opposition to the extension of Schengen to Bulgaria and Romania meshes with hostility to Turkish membership of the EU and fears of the free movement of Turkish labour, and of course with wider concerns about migration from beyond the EU and prospective EU member countries. So that's one theme. The second theme is what is often called the renationalisation of the EU. Put very simply, the rising influence of member state governments at the expense of the European Commission and EU institutions more generally. This is not, of course, a straightforward story. Thanks to the Lisbon Treaty, the European Parliament has more powers than ever. The European Court of Justice is increasingly influential. And last but not least, the European Central Bank has played a pivotal role in averting disaster in the Eurozone. But it is indisputable that first the financial crisis and later the sovereign debt crisis has made the most powerful member states more conscious and protective of their national interests, even if they recognise their wider European responsibilities. And it's in this way that the Schengen disputes are part of a bigger picture of rising national sensitivities. And theme number 3 concerns the newer member states. Are they punching their weight in the EU, or are they punching under their weight? The special arrangements made for Bulgaria and Romania after 2007 and their exclusion initially from Schengen have made these two countries fret, be worried about being second-class member states. But there is more to it than this. Some newer member states have not developed a sufficiently strategic approach to EU membership. They all like having a seat at the table, and they certainly all like the generous levels of EU funding, but some suffer from a lack of clarity in their vision of the EU and their own place in the EU. And of course, some, it would seem, haven't appointed their best people to EU jobs. On the other side of the coin, the older member states have probably done better at using the new instruments available under the Lisbon Treaty to advance their interests. And arguably, the older member states have also not shown much willingness to let representatives of the newer members be appointed to enough high-level positions. So those are just a few ideas to chew over